Hey, what's up? This is Minute Book Reports, and this is sort of a different type of video. I came across these videos on YouTube. They're called, book wrap-ups, and from my understanding, they're basically where people just sort of summarize what they read over the month, and I thought I'd do something similar to that. Not necessarily a book report where it's more scripted and everything is sort of laid out. This is more casual. As you can see, you'll see all the mistakes I make. Maybe the computer will break, I don't know. There will be probably sounds in the background, but I just thought this would be kind of an interesting thing to do maybe once every month, to sort of talk about the books that I covered in the previous month, and just a little more candidly, a little bit more about what I actually personally think, and hopefully maybe you can relate to that, especially if you read the books. So this will be pretty raw. I'll just sort of doodle around. I'm not really a great artist, I'm sure, as you can already see from this channel, but hopefully you enjoy some of the drawings and some of the discussion. So sit back and relax, and we're gonna go over the books in August. So there were 4 books that I covered. Oh, okay, there we go, our first mistake. The first book, the first story is actually A Good Man is Hard to Find. And so with A Good Man is Hard to Find, the reason why I picked this story was because in college I was told that this was supposed to be one of the best short stories, if not the best short story that there is. And so that's sort of why I picked it. I kind of read it when I was an undergrad, maybe junior year in college, but I really didn't read it until probably my second year in grad school, which is actually fairly late. And if you know anything about grad school, you know that they make you read some crazy things and some maybe not so crazy things. But I really like the story, and I have to say, I have to agree with my professor who said that it is the best short story. Of course, I haven't read all of them, but it's pretty good. If you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it. It's quick and easy and short. It's very intense, and what's so great about it is you get a lot of sort of foreshadowing. If you're paying attention, you kind of will know what will happen, and ultimately, I think a lot of the characters are very deep, but yet they're covered in a short period of time. So A Good Man is Hard to Find. Definitely I recommend it, and hopefully you'll get a chance to check it out. One of these days, even though it's fairly violent, there's guns and people die. So spoiler if you haven't checked it out. So. I definitely recommend that, but it was a very good story. So that's the first one I covered in August. The second one was actually a request. It was A Clockwork Orange, and I haven't actually seen the movie, but someone asked if I could talk about it, and so I decided to do it, and I read the book. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I definitely think it, I don't know, I have sort of a bias on these books, and maybe I'll talk about this in a future video sometime, but I have a very big bias against books that use slang or different language. And there's nothing wrong with, I think, doing cultural things where you have authentic words, but the problem becomes when you can't really understand what the story's about because you're too busy trying to understand what's actually being read. And I think when the books have that, when they present that challenge to readers, it turns off a lot of readers. I know it turns me away from the story, and it just becomes a very difficult grind to actually understand the story. But overall, it was pretty exciting, I have to say. From the trailers and the scenes I see from the movie looks probably more exciting. I know it's definitely more graphic, but yeah, it was an interesting read. Probably wouldn't, really recommend it to too many people, though. It's kind of I don't know, definitely a mature book, but yeah, if you love to learn about a new language, sort of, feel free to check it out, and you can struggle too. So that was the second book, A Clockwork Orange. You can check out the video I made last month. The third book that I covered was kind of weird because I read this book and I read Shiloh sort of back to back at the same time, and so that was kind of unusual. I had to spread out the videos because it'd be kind of weird if I read a book about a dog and then I read another book about a dog like back to back and made those videos. So I had to sort of split it up, which wasn't really too bad actually looking at it now. But it was kind of strange. I guess there was this period where I was just reading all these dog books, which I don't know why. It just sort of happened, I guess. But because of Winn-Dixie, that was the book that I went with in August, and I have to say it was okay. It kind of was pointless, and I hate to say that about any of these books, but it I don't know. It didn't really change me. It didn't really do anything profound, and I just felt like the character transformation wasn't good for what the story could have been. And I think part of it is because the story is quick and fast, and maybe it's just for younger children. So they're just happy that everyone is, together and they're all having fun at the party. And to me, that's not really an ending to a story. That's more of, I don't know what you'd call it. It's just, yeah, it was just bland, not bad. It was just bland, and I know they made a movie out of it. I haven't watched it. I'm sure it's probably about the same, but yeah, because of Winn-Dixie, I'm glad I got to read it because I've never actually been to a Winn-Dixie store or a grocery store, because we don't have that here where I live now, and we actually never had it where I went to college, so I never knew what Winn-Dixie actually meant. I know there's Dixie cups, the little plastic cups where you drink water from, but not really the Winn-Dixie grocery store. So it was okay overall, but not really anything to, reread again, I guess, in the future. So that was the third one. And the last book that I read at the end of the month was Walk Two Moons. And that was actually a book I wanted to read for a long time because I had seen the cover, and it was one of those books that I felt it was too intimidating when I was younger, because I guess I always felt like the book was too long and the cover was too crazy, because the version that I ended up reading was it had like a lot of I don't know what kind of art you call it, but it's like where they took pictures and they just sort of smashed it like a collage, but the background was like a painting. So it was like mixing real art with like real life photographs with painted art. So it was kind of a weird book. So I never actually read it when I was younger. But I'm glad that I read it. I thought it was great, actually. It was definitely the best book that I've read in a long time. I don't know if that's because I expected it to be bad or junk. But I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the ending. And I don't know if there's a movie. There probably is. But if there isn't, I would definitely watch the movie. Of course, with the right casting. I just felt like the climax of the book was very strong. I didn't see that ending, which is always great because in a book it's a lot slower than like a movie. And they gave enough hints that you knew the ending would be very exciting when she would ultimately go and meet up with her mother in Idaho, and to find out that the mother had, oh yeah, spoilers by the way, the mother had died, and that was really great. That not the mom died, but that there were so many unanswered questions and so many climaxes and so many great moments of oh, that's really really good, all towards the end of the book. That was great. Like she talks, she finds the bus, she sees her mother's grave, the grandmother dies, they sort of wrap things up and they move back home to their farm. I think that's a lot of really good stuff happening. And meanwhile, there's this sort of weird mystery going on too about what this weird random guy is. And honestly, when I first read it, I thought that the mom, Phoebe's mom, was actually having an affair with a college boy. I know that seems kind of weird, but again, I'm reading it from an adult, lens, so that's sort of what I'm instantly thinking. Sorry. But that's what I thought, and it turned out that that was her son, which it was cool, that's fine. But yeah, I do like the fact that it just sort of like all these dominoes sort of hit at the end. And so Walk Two Moons was great. I thought the title was good. I personally like that. It spoke to me about, sort of thinking about things from the perspective of other people. And it's not just walk a day in their shoes, but it's actually walk 2 moons in their shoes, which I think is great because it's 2 days where you have the first day where it's so overwhelming, and then the second day, of course, is the return. It's like, oh gosh, I forgot I'm this again. I'm whatever entity or person that I am for the second day in a row, and now I have to deal with that. So I thought that was really, really good. Definitely the best book I would say I read in a while. And yeah, I'm very glad that I picked it up. So that was the month of August. I know this video is different. It's probably long. Maybe you're not interested, but I figured I would talk more about myself. Maybe more about what I think about the books, because a lot of the videos, a lot of the minute book reports that I do make, I don't really express what I personally feel about the book in the sense that, good or bad, or what I liked about it or didn't like. I try to just do a summary and an analysis and try to keep it, as objective as you can when it comes to reading books. So I figure at least with this, if you want to know personally what I think about each of the books, you get kind of a little more understanding. And some of the books I don't like, some of the books I really didn't like reading, but I did them anyway because they were on my list, and or I thought they would be good, but they actually weren't that great. So anyway, guys, that's this video. I don't know, I guess it's gonna be the August book wrap up. I don't know what else to call it, but hopefully you enjoyed it. If you enjoy it, please let me know. Definitely, it's nice to hear, I will say that. But I'm definitely enjoying myself, still making these book reports. I don't know how long I've been doing this for, maybe 9 months, 7 or 8 months, I don't know. But I really appreciate all of you guys watching and listening, and hopefully you'll enjoy more of these types of videos if they're more engaging. So let me know in the comments, or you can send me a message. Like I've sent a message or responded to a lot of you guys. I do take requests for books, but I am backlogged because I do a lot of reading. Fortunately, my job allows me to read. So I do have like 2 or 3 book reports already ready to go. So if you ask me to do something, it might be a month, maybe, until I can get to it. So, or that it'll appear on the channel, I should say. Not that I won't read it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Tell your friends if you enjoy the channel, and hopefully you enjoy these videos. So let me know, and have a great day, and hopefully you keep on reading. All right, thanks.